Okay, let's chant it together. Chant along. Om Apyayantu mamangani Vak pranash chakshu shrotram atho balamindriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahmaupanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam ma brahma nirakarot Anirakaranam astu, anirakaranam estu, tadatmani nirate ya upanishatsu, dharmaste mai santu, te mai santu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So we have so far studied 4 verses, 4 mantras of Kena Upanishad. These 4 mantras told us about or rather gave us some hints about the nature of our innermost reality and how difficult it is to comprehend this reality. The teacher who is giving the instructions find it difficult to communicate their realization to the student through words. That is why the language and the thoughts are becoming very subtle. Some of the language is paradoxical, startling, and the teacher is continuing to teach the student and introduces one great surprise in next 5 mantras. So the next 5 mantras, 5 to 9, are almost similar in pattern. We shall see that, but in all of them, there is an big surprise, element of surprise. Before taking up the mantra per se, let's step back and think about this phenomenon called macrocosm and another phenomenon, microcosm. Micro is within, macro is the cosmic. And if you remember, when we had an overview or introduction on the Vedas and the place of Upanishad in the Vedas, we briefly noted that Vedas can broadly be classified into 2 sections, right? 2 sections, broadly. Do you remember, any one of you, these 2 divisions of Veda?
Karma
Rituals.
Mhm.
and yena.
Yes, karma. Okay, yes.
Karma and jnana.
Karma kanda, jnana kanda.
Yes, that is karma kanda and jnana kanda is the classification given by the non-dualist school of Vedanta. Okay, but if you remember, mostly they can be divided as they are mantras and Upanishad, right? Mantras and Upanishad. So mantra person is mostly about people's wonder about this vastness of nature, inquiry about macrocosm. People were stupefied by these vastness things outside and wonder about macrocosm. And Upanishads are inquiry about our own self, microcosm. Where have we come from? What is the meaning of life? And this inquiry into microcosm leads to, we find in the Upanishad, coming to the conclusion that microcosm and macrocosm have a common link. There is a oneness between microcosm and macrocosm. You got it? The first part, mantras, were all about the macrocosm and wonder about this macrocosm, how this world came from, who maintains this wonderful world, where do the seasons come, how does the seasons come and go, this type of questions, all about macrocosm. And Upanishad is mostly about our true self. As we see in this very Upanishad, the student asks that who is the real one who drives our body-mind complex? Okay, it is all about me, I, microcosm and macrocosm. And Upanishad is the only literature in the whole world that not only speaks about our inner reality, but it says that there is a oneness, essential oneness between microcosm and macrocosm. In fact, this is the realization Swami Vivekananda had in Himalaya, in a village, very idyllic village called Kakri Ghat near Almora. There, I have been there. So it's a river flowing, Alokananda. Alokananda later on joins Ganga. The river is flowing, wonderful scenery. And under a banyan tree, Swami Vivekananda had a wonderful meditation. And after that meditation, he said to Swami Akhandananda that under this tree today, a great question of my life got resolved. And I came to realize that microcosm and macrocosm are built on the same plan. Same plan. That is, whatever is in the inner world, the same thing is in the outer world. It has got many implications. One, those who have studied Aparakshanubhuti or Vedanta Sara, we have noticed that Vedanta approaches the world from two different perspectives, Vyashti, Samashti. Vyashti means the individual person, and Samashti, the whole, the whole. And Vedanta starts analyzing both the individual personality and also the universe as we see. And slowly, as it goes on analyzing, comes to the conclusion that Vyashti, the individual, and Samashti, the whole, the cosmic, they have essentially one principle, one fundamental principle, which we called Atma in individual level, Brahma, or the vast, the infinite, in the cosmic level, in the macrocosm. In the next verse, that is what the teacher is going to say, that knowing our innermost reality is not only knowing fundamentally what we are, but coming to this stupendous realization or experience that we are vast, infinite, vast or infinite. This is something we may say, a unique contribution of the Upanishad. Seek the vastness, seek the infinite, seek the infinite, seek the vastness. Incidentally, now I am for last few weeks exploring a phenomenon called awe, and it is a wonderful phenomenon. I am studying so many papers on it. And awe is something which bridges the gap between the microcosm and macrocosm. Awe is something that obliterates for the time being the distinction between individual self and the cosmic self. So wonderful. I mean, if we look, we shall, of course, I will deliver 2 lectures on awe. We shall see at that time the fascinating aspect of awe. So awe is everyone's spirituality, whether religious or non-religious. Yeah, awe, A-W-E. Yes, I don't know what my pronunciation may be wrong. Awe, whatever it is, that awe. Okay, that we shall see later on. So the student in this Upanishad inquired about the inner world, microcosm. Who directs our body-mind complex? The teacher gave some indications about that mysterious or mystical reality or spiritual reality. The teacher said it is the essence of our body-mind complex. It cannot be objectified. It is neither unknown nor known. It is the eternal subject. More surprisingly, in the next 5 mantras, the teacher reveals that the innermost spiritual reality is also vast and limitless. This limitless reality is, this is important, this limitless reality, which is your innermost self, is the true God, the true ideal we are all seeking, which is also the secret of the macrocosm. The secret of microcosm is also the secret of the macrocosm. So the teacher in the next 5 verses is essentially saying that the mystery that you are essentially are is also the mystery of the universe. That which you are seeking within your own self is also what human beings have been seeking outside for ages. What you are seeking here is also what others are seeking there outside. Okay, this is basically the essence of the next 5 mantras. Very wonderful mantras. We shall take a look, starting from mantra 5. Tvaṃ pada and tat pada. Yes, tam pada with a bijay. Yeah. All right. So mantra number 5 of chapter 1. Incidentally, I have already uploaded them into the shared docs. You can take a look later on. Yat vācā anabhyuditaṃ, yena abhyudyate, tat eva Brahma tvaṃ viddhi, na idam yat idam upāsate. That which anabhyuditaṃ cannot be revealed by speech, yena, by which the speech, abhyudyate, is revealed, viddhi, no, tvaṃ, you, tat, that, eva, only, Brahma, as Brahma, na, not, idam, what, upāsate, people worship, idam, as a symbol. That which cannot be revealed by speech, by which the speech is revealed, know you that only as Brahma, not what people worship as a symbol. All right. So that which cannot be revealed by speech. So It is almost what we have already learned, came to know these ideas. Speech can reveal only those things which are known. If I speak about any experience or thing which you have never seen, heard, or imagined, my words cannot convey what I want to convey. So, for the speech to work, we should have a shared experience, right? A common ground, a shared reality. So imagine your experience of a breathtaking view of sunset over the Pacific Ocean. But can you describe it to another person who has never seen it? No words can convey, express your experience of seeing the sunset. The innermost reality, which is the most intimate reality, about which the student is asking, is such an entity which cannot be expressed by speech. It cannot be expressed by speech. Speech can express only limited things, but by which the speech is revealed. This innermost reality, the eternal subject, according to the previous mantras, is consciousness, awareness, which is a function of the innermost reality. And this awareness is a must to utter speech and to understand it. If awareness, consciousness of that innermost reality is not present, speech and words won't mean anything to us. That is why the Upanishad says that which cannot be revealed by speech, but by which the speech is revealed. And it is another way of putting the verse 4 that it is the eternal subject which cannot be objectified. Okay, at this, the student have every possible reason to think that the spiritual in reality is the eternal subject. Each one of us has an eternal subject. Therefore, there are multiple, numerous eternal subjects. That innermost reality, that spiritual reality is one for, each of us has one such spiritual reality. So the teacher says, to negate such a conception, know you that only as Brahma. Brahma literally means the vast. Brihat. Brihat is the word from which has come Brahma. Know you that only as vast. That is, the eternal subject which you are is limitless, infinite, and vast. That is, in Sanskrit, Brahma. So, if your innermost reality is infinite and limitless, there cannot be multiple infinite subjects. There is only one infinite spiritual entity which is being manifested through each human beings. And that one infinite spiritual reality or entity is called Brahma. Oh, so here is one great, we may say, great one bomb the teacher throws. That yes, for now I have spoken about that inner reality which is difficult to express. I don't know how to instruct about it. It is known. It is not known. It is also not unknown. All right, but the jaw-dropping moment is know that to be vast, infinite. Okay. So that should, that means something, right? Someone says that your reality, your true nature is infinite, vast, not limitless. That is something. And that is what the teacher is dropping here. That you are, in reality, the vast, the infinite. And not what people worship as a symbol. Okay, the last part. So human beings for ages have been seeking that infinite. Why they are seeking that infinite? Because it is our true nature. And that is why we are seeking it outside. And how we are seeking it? We are seeking it through different symbols, through images, through mantras, through divine incarnations, through deities, through forces of nature, through suns and moons, all are symbols. So people worship these symbols. So what they are really worshiping is that infinite, that vast. In the ultimate analysis, all these are symbols. And symbols are helpful, they are wonderful, they are beautiful, but ultimately they are symbol. They are the symbols of that infinite. They are the symbol of the infinite. So there are more profound beauty in the spirit. The symbols are wonderful, but what lies behind the symbol is more wonderful, more profound. Can you recall any other verse we read in Isha Upanishad? About the same idea? Mantra number 16. Remember? Pushan ekarshe yamasuryo prajapatta. Bruho raspin samuha tejo. Tatte rupam kalyanatamam pashami. O sun, remove your outer covering. I want to see your real face, which is the most auspicious one. Okay. So sun was the symbol for the seeker, spiritual seeker, for that ultimate reality, that one reality, which we call Brahma. Now, at the deathbed, the spiritual seeker was praying, or rather demanding, that let me see that the real reality about which the symbol is only a reflection. So the teacher is telling here that no, that ultimate reality, the vast reality, is within you, which is within you, and not what people are worshipping. Okay, so it is not a condemnation of worship of images or worship of God, God-men, saints, or symbols, but at the same time, the teacher is making it clear that the object of worship is not object, it is subject, the real subject, which is you, which is you. So this is very profound. This is very profound in the entire, we may say, in the entire spiritual literature of the world. And this holds the promise or solution of conflicts between sects, right? Between sects and between religion. We are fighting over this God is the only God which can save me. That God is the only God. This spiritual practice can only save me. So according to this verse, all of these are symbols, a representation of that one infinite reality, which is not only out there, but in you also. So you can seek it deep within you. You can seek it outside with the help of a symbol. But know for sure that ultimately it is the infinite thing, infinite vast thing that you are seeking through the means of the symbols. That this, this profound idea holds the possibility of reconciling all the spiritual faiths, right? All spiritual paths, all spiritual tradition. In that sense, it's a very profound statement. So, um, it is indeed very difficult to comprehend and grasp the all pervading infinite reality. That abstract reality, that is why that abstract reality is symbolically presented through different symbols of gods, deities, images, and whatnot. And these are definitely human creations. Of course, from the standpoint of faith, these are not human creations. These are revelations, these are creation of God. But anthropologically speaking, these are all the creation of human minds. Why? To seeking, we are seeking that infinite, and that infinite is difficult to grasp through our finite mind, and that's why we are taking the help of symbols. And these have these symbols have helped countless human beings throughout the ages. So there is no question about their utility, their what you call the need. Swami Vivekananda wonderfully captured this sentiment in a talk he gave in London in 1896, The Real Nature of Man, in volume 2, in the Jnana Yoga series, The Real Nature of Man. I am reading it out. So wonderful. Why does man look for God? Why does man in every nation, in every state of society, want a perfect ideal somewhere, either in man, in God, or elsewhere? Because that idea is within you. It was your own heart beating, and you did not know. You were mistaking it for something external. It is the God within your own self that is propelling you to seek for Him, to realize Him. After long searches here and there, in temples and in churches, in earths and in heavens, at last you come back, completing the circle from where you started, to your own soul, and find that He for whom you have been seeking all over the world, for whom you have been weeping and praying in churches and temples, on whom you were looking as the mystery of all mysteries, shrouded in the clouds, is nearest of the near, is your own self, the reality of your life, body, and soul. He so nicely captures the same idea, what the teacher is trying to say. What the teacher is trying to say? The teacher is trying to tell the student the innermost reality is beyond the grasp of senses. That reality is vast. And that is what we are, all of us, worshipping knowingly or unknowingly. So know that reality alone to be the reality worthy of worship, worthy of seeking. So interestingly, the word viddhi, one means know that that innermost reality alone to be Brahma. It may also mean that try to know that reality. Okay, seek that reality. In should, you should, in that sense, you should seek that reality alone, which is within you. Okay, so get, don't get, I would say, limited by all kind of worships that you are seeing here. Here means in this world. People are worshipping different symbols, images, gods. But keep in your mind that don't get limited by symbol worship alone. Seek the reality, the vast, which is in you. So this is the fifth verse, and all the next four verses essentially are the same thing. We shall see one by one. And let me see, is there any question about this verse? You can ask question, unmute yourself. Indeed, this is why people seek, to climb mountains, go to the ocean. Why it feels so good to experience that vastness. According to Upanishad, because we are vast inside, within. That's why we're seeking that vastness outside. In fact, I give another example. Why we like to watch a game together, in a stadium, in a field, when we feel at that moment that we have become one with the entire crowd. And it is so vigorating. We feel that we are our true self at that moment when we have forgotten our own individuality and have become one with a great, great humanity. That probably shows that this infinity is our nature, and we are seeking that infinity in whatever way it is possible. That's why we are never satisfied with things, never satisfied. We want more and more. Why? Because nothing short of infinite, the limitless, can really satisfy us. Okay, that is what Upanishad is telling. Any question about this mantra? So Anand, Anand asked that question in one of the classes that, okay, there is this innermost reality. How do we know that it is one? Anand, your question is answered in this verse. Okay, that one reality, innermost reality, is experienced as infinite, vast. And so there cannot be many vast. So there is essential unity or essential oneness in the entire existence.
Raj, I don't have a question, but the
Idea.
verse reminds me of the Vesper, Namo Namo Prabhu Vakya Manatit.
Yes. Indeed. What Arundhati is referring to is the Vesper song that Swami Vivekananda composed about Sri Ramakrishna. Okay. So in that Vesper song, Swami Vivekananda is portraying Sri Ramakrishna not as a human being or as God or someone who is a historic figure. It's a symbol of that infinite reality. Okay. All these elements that cannot be expressed through mind or speech or words.
So all these Maharaj symbols are like windows on reality.
These are windows to reality, indeed. Windows to the reality. It's a very good expression. Windows to the reality, gateways to the reality.
Maharaj, I was reminded of Thakur's sadhana under Totapuri Maharaj, when he had to even go beyond the idea of Mother Kali to experience that reality. He
And
has
as
to
they-
give up. That symbol itself has to be given
Right.
up. Yeah.
Right. The infinite. Yeah. Sri Ramakrishna when he was practicing non-dualism under that wandering monk called Totapuri. So Totapuri was insisting that meditate on that formless reality, nameless, formless reality. And Sri Ramakrishna, out of his so many years of habit, he could not go beyond the image of Mother Kali. He could not go beyond. So that wandering monk with a piece of glass, hit here, crossed here, pressed here, and help Sri Ramakrishna to transcend the symbol of Mother Kali and meditate on that formless reality, formless, qualityless, attributeless Brahman.
What is the symbolism of the glass?
No, glass has no symbolism.
Okay. Oh, I just didn't know if that meant something.
No, with the help of a piece of glass, it's a
He scratched his forehead.
Scratch his forehead, here, probably Totapuri thought, that Sri Ramakrishna's mind was stuck in this chakra, chakra. Okay. So he needed to goaded to go upward, and probably that is why he did it.
Hi, Swami. This is Anshul.
Yes, Anshul, go ahead.
So my question is, so it's the brain or the intellect that in some people, in some brains, this seeking starts. But then is it, you're always limited to your brain, which understands the senses. So then when you get some sort of deeper understanding, is it always through like an experience? And then how is that, if so, how is that different than your like intellectual understanding, basically?
Right. Fine. I'd love to answer this question, but before that, we should remember one thing. That is, these are different models. Okay, Vedanta is one model of understanding the reality and our own individuality. Neuroscience is another model of understanding our own reality and the reality outside there. So they always cannot be conflated with each other, cannot be easily exchanged with each other. But even then, indeed, there is experience of this vastness, okay? Experience of that vastness, which is impossible to express through words. Mind simply remembers that there was a vast, infinite experience, but cannot remember the details of the experience. Okay, that is why very soon, the next mantra itself, we shall come to know that which mind cannot grasp, but through which mind can be known. Okay, so it is not an intellectual thing, it is a real experience that I am vast, beyond which there is no doubt. Is it okay, Anshul?
I think so, yeah. And
yes,
maybe
it is an experience, indeed an experience. In fact, it's interesting. I told you that some of the non-dualists speak of there is no need for meditation. Okay, there is no need for meditation to get the truth, because according to them, experience is also something transitory, which comes and goes. But what we are seeking is not transitory. So experience, meditation, samadhi are not essential or necessary at all to get the knowledge. But again, what is their standpoint? Okay, then keep on asserting, I am that infinite. Okay, at some point, this assertion will become real. Assertion will become, they call it Brahma akara vritti. The mind will take the shape or form of that vastness. Okay. Then the question is, if mind is finite, how it can take the shape of the infinite? Then they say, well, mind cannot reveal Brahma when that vritti, that thought, I am vast, occurs. All the ignorance of the mind is dissolved, and that infinite reality reveals itself. So my question is not that an experience? Is not that an experience? Aham Brahmasmi. It is not an intellectual assertion only, right? Intellectual assertion only. It is ultimately an experience. So whether they emphasize more the intellectual path of Shravana and Manana, or the more on meditation called Nididhyasana, ultimately it has to be an experience which will make, it will totally be a convincing experience that we are indeed infinite. We are indeed infinite.
Got it. Thank you so much. And I think I understood it a lot better when you said no doubt. So there's some experience where after that there is no transitory doubt or anything. It's just, that's one feeling you have and it's just standard.
Indeed, exactly.
Thank you.
Was that, yeah, Ansu, just a minute. I have a question from Victoria. Was that to symbolize that people can be taught or encouraged to learn these?
I'm talking about the experience with Totapuri
Mhm.
and this. Was he trying to symbolically say that other people that even followed Ramakrishna could actually learn jnana?
Not really. I don't think he had that kind of purpose. Okay, that kind of purpose. He came, frankly speaking, he was a wandering monk and of a very definitely an illumined person. We get to know about him from different other sources. And he was a wandering monk. He would not stay anywhere. He will visit from place to place. He came to Dakshineshwar. He saw Sri Ramakrishna, met Sri Ramakrishna, and thought here is a good, appropriate aspirant, spiritual aspirant for non-dualism, non-dual sadhana. So he told Sri Ramakrishna that, would you like to practice Advaita sadhana under me? And Sri Ramakrishna was, of course, open to everything, but his image worship was becoming a barrier for that moment, and that he helped to overcome. Okay, I don't think there is any other larger significance in this act. Okay, I saw another. Just a minute. I think so. Jnana is not knowledge. Jnana is knowledge. Yes, it is a result understanding. Yeah. Yes. Of course. Jnana is knowledge. Yeah. Yes. What else? What?
in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, is that Arjuna was getting the view of this cosmic reality?
Indeed, indeed. The non-dualist interpretation is this, that what Arjuna was experiencing is that the all-pervading spirit, and also as well as Sri Krishna, the person, Sri Krishna, the God.
So, Swamiji, I have a question. The last part, not what people worship as a symbol, is I'm still kind of thinking about how to interpret that. You know, for example, when we do japam, we try to think of the mantra. Mantra as equivalent to God.
Yes,
The word
equivalent
Om.
to God.
It's a
Exactly.
symbol, but we want to think of it as, you know, more than a symbol in some sense. So how
Indeed,
to
indeed.
reconcile these two views?
Yeah, indeed. So what the teacher is trying to tell, it's a very subtle thing. Yes, that reality which is within you, right? Which is within you, the innermost reality, is the vast, is that infinite. Okay. And that is what actually you should seek. So, and these symbols themselves are not the infinite. Symbols themselves are not the infinite. So don't get stuck at the level of the symbols. Okay. For example, we can definitely understand in historical perspective, at that time, they were definitely worshipper of forces of nature, right? The sun or the moon or the thunder or wind. So these are all symbols of the infinite. That is what the teacher is telling. So and what people here worship as Varuna, as Indra, as sun, they are not that vast thing. They are the symbol or a outer symbol or a representation of that reality. For example, the flag of USA, flag of USA. So where there is a meet of different countries, this flag is representing United States of America. But is that flag itself United States of America?
No.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no. From one perspective, it is United States of America. It is representing. Okay, and you show disrespect to the flag. It is disrespecting the country itself. But at the same time, should we take it literally that United States of America is in that flag? No. So it is impossible to bring the entire United States, conceive of United States. So a flag is representing. Okay. But flag is important, valuable. It serves a purpose. It has a transactional purpose. Through that flag alone, we are able to get this, idea of one America, right?
Right.
So in that same way.
Swami, even the sound Om is not a complete symbol or I'm missing a word here for Atman, but the pranava, the silence between the two Oms, they say go deep into that. So what it tells is one cannot really put words into describing something that is infinite, because the words makes it finite.
Exactly. And this mantra was this. First part of the mantra was this.
Yeah.
That which cannot be revealed by words. Okay.
Okay.
But
Yes.
but which reveals all the world.
All the words.
Yeah. So symbols are wonderful. Symbols are very important, and we cannot deny them. But at the same time, we should have this knowledge. The symbols are presentations of that vastness, infinite, okay, which is within all of us. So that is the point, that infinite which is within you, you are seeking outside with the help of symbols. That is what the teacher is telling. So that infinite is you, not within you, it is you. Okay. Not what that symbols people are worshipping, that is infinite. The infinite is within you. Okay. So there are different components in this interesting one.
Sometimes a symbol can be, are we muted?
This is on.
Okay. Sometimes the symbol can be hindrance, right? So Swami Vivekananda had to break the statue of Devi to get over, to meditate on the symbol always. I read that in one of the book that he had to do that. And then that story about the Totapari was also to get over the symbol. And
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. But one thing, if one is sincere enough, the symbols can give the full knowledge of the infinite.
Okay.
The symbols can give knowledge of the infinite. Right.
The blessings can flow through.
Not only blessings, because it is representing something, right? It is representing something.
Okay.
So, in fact, Sri Ramakrishna wanted to demonstrate that don't stop. His life message can be in one sentence: never stop in your spiritual journey. Okay, so you have had vision of your chosen deity. That means it is stopped there? No. Okay, keep on. Then the chosen deity, there is something behind the chosen deity. Okay, and the infinite, that is what you are going to experience ultimately. Okay, it becomes barrier. The symbols become barrier when we think themselves are the everything. Okay, one and all, from the idol to the ideal. Yeah. All right. So, my God, I thought I will complete all the 5. Okay, still we can complete all the 5 today because, yeah. All right, let me complete. 1.5 important mantras. So, okay. 1.6, okay. It is now about mind. It is about mind. Yat manasā manute, yena āhuḥ mano matam, tat eva Brahma tam viddhi, na idam yat idam upāsate. Since I have already uploaded these things into the shared docs, I am just going to the meaning and important discussion. That which cannot be comprehended by mind, by which they say the mind is comprehended, know you that only as Brahma, not what people worship as a symbol. Same thing, only the first line is changing. That which cannot be comprehended by mind, by which they say mind is comprehended, know you that only as Brahma. Okay, so what is the here? Mind. Mind is limited. Mind is limited. It cannot know the infinite. It can only intuit about the infinite reality or infinite entity. When? At the moment of illumination. Later on, mind can only remember that it had a profound experience, but cannot remember exactly what the experience was. That means mind cannot comprehend the reality in totality. Have you got it? Have you got it? Mind cannot, because if mind can grasp it, mind is grasping the infinite, which is not possible because mind is finite. Okay, mind is finite, and here the thing is vast, infinite. We are talking about, which is the subject. So mind cannot grasp the subject, by which they say the mind is comprehended. That is, by the light of Atma, mind is known. We can witness what is happening in the mind. For example, today, my mind is not attentive. Today, my mind is alert. So I am knowing what is happening in the mind, right? So it is through the light of consciousness, or that innermost reality, that we are knowing about the mind. But mind itself cannot know the reality. Okay, so I think I will stop here today. Okay, three more verses, mantras are there about the same vein, but I don't want to rush through because I want to also summarize. I wanted to summarize the entire chapter that we read. I don't want to do that. What do you think? Or should we go on? Paul. Oh, I have to unmute. Okay. Just a minute, Paul. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Paul.
I would rather hear when you're not in a hurry.
All right.
Me too.
So yeah. Today, what we have read today is quite profound. It may be that I could not could not break it down very well, or could not give enough examples. But think about it. This mantra is very profound. Many important components here. Think about yourself. Okay, what this mantra is trying to indicate.
So Maharaj, when the mind grasps that at that point of elimination, they say mind dissolves actually. Mind doesn't remain anymore as a mind.
All right. Let's take it granted, mind dissolves. Then after, if the person come back from that experience, does the person have a disintegrated mind?
They say many don't come back. Only people who have mission like incarnation, they can come back, right?
So after coming back, what? Their mind is disintegrated? Dissolved?
They're not identified with.
They're not identified with it.
No. How? Why not? Why not? Why not? Mind will be functioning the way mind functions.
No, because we say mind is finite, right? So there is, it cannot grasp infinite, right?
Indeed. Mind cannot grasp the infinite. Who denied that?
So
what others think?
Comes,
yeah, I think. What others think? What others think? It's a very interesting.
In Zen, they call it the doctrine of no mind. So momentarily, the mind doesn't function. But then, of course, you return to the mind, but then there is a greater awareness that just as I have my heart, just I have my arms and my legs and my eyes and ears, I also happen to have a mind, and it does what it does.
Yes. Any more?
And isn't there a concept of a working mind and then another type of mind. I think these are two concepts that you will never get rid of your working mind, because you need that to live in the material world. But then there's another type. I don't know exactly, but I know that there's some distinction.
Yeah. Very
Well,
good. What others?
Deep,
Yes, Victoria.
well, deep meditation, one-pointed concentration, removes all of the mind stuff that we happen to be thinking. So as we continue to remove thoughts or just words or simple ideas or even feelings, then it becomes more and more just that one thought, that one concentration of the inner, like heart center. And so basically the mind becomes silent at that point. When it's silent, there is no remembering at all. There's no comprehension of anything because the mind is non-functional. But then when we come down from that high spiritual plane, let's say, then the mind starts to, pick up all kinds of ideas, and then it remembers something happened. Something happened just now. Just like when we wake up from a deep sleep and they say, I had such a deep sleep, it was so wonderful, but we can't remember anything that happened in the sleep. It's very much like that. I mean, we just start having thinking, and then, Ramakrishna would come out of his and he would be so thrilled and excited about the awarenesses that he had when he was going into it and then coming out of it, that he wanted to tell everybody about it, but he couldn't. There was no way to remember what happened because his mind was silent.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That is what I told, at the end, that mind can intuit about the experience, and it remembers that I had an experience, but I don't know the details of the experience. And in fact, it is not so mysterious in the sense, for example, most of us have had awe experience, right? Awe, very wonderful experience. For the first time, suppose when we have seen the ocean. So at that time, if you remember, we had a wonderful some experience, a sense of expansion. But when we wanted to convey to others, we could not really convey what it was like, right? I mean, it was this is the paradox. Those experiences are very detailed, very detailed at those moments. Every element of the nature is, our mind or sensations are hyperactive at those moments. Every subtle, small things we can perceive at that moment. But later on, we cannot remember. We remember the effect of the experience, but cannot really give details about the experience. In most of the cases, we shall see that. And here, the teacher is speaking about one infinite vastness, right? Infinite vastness. So mind will get it, but as we can intuit, mind cannot grasp it. Mind cannot grasp it, right? Think about.
I feel like,
yes, Simon.
I was just gonna say that I feel like one experience that's very universal is like love. I think love is something you can't even explain or describe, or really even, the mind can't really grasp it. But we all know that love is also very infinite. When we say we love someone, we love you more than anything, right? It's an infinite experience that's very like endless.
Endless, yes.
But the mind can't really like explain what love is.
Yeah, indeed. So, yeah, exactly. So the question from Shubha was, mind dissolves. Mind dissolves. So what probably he meant was, there is, if we take the help of Patanjali Yoga, right, that there is only one thought, there is only one thought. That is what probably Subhash meant by mind dissolved. Only one thought, and it is very profound thought. And but mind cannot totally remember what it was like.
Swami.
Yes, Rick, I was waiting to hear from you.
Okay, all right. I'll be good. You know, during Swami P's Wednesday class, something was said that was very interesting. He said, Swami Vivekananda said, these are somewhat my words, that the mechanics of, I'm going to forget the word, of suffering. What is that word? Ignorance and suffering. Something begins with an S. What is it called? Samsara. He said this. The mechanics of samsara are the same mechanics that bring enlightenment. So there is only one program. I think that this talk about the symbols are almost like keys on a computer. They light up. They light the machine up. When we have samsara, it lights us up to suffer. When we have samadhi, it lights us up. It lights us up to light. So, but the mechanics are the same. The mechanics are the same. Right. So the machine works in either direction, to the good or to the bad, but in the same way. So what you do is you escape the symbols to get to the underlying opportunity that's operating the machine. It's the ultimate operator. So, and I tell you, I'm thinking about this a lot, and I'd like to have a class just on samsara, just to know it, just to know the mechanics.
Okay, sure. We shall have a talk, okay, when we meet about it in details. Yeah. No, in fact, you know, sometimes I believe some of the when we go into these granular details of the mind and the experience, then I cannot but think about Patanjali Yoga Sutra. You know, how mind knows. And Patanjali, according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, whether it is normal experience, supernormal experience, spiritual experience, all experiences are vrittis. So every knowledge requires a thought wave, a vritti. Okay, and the beauty of thought wave related to illumination is that kind of vritti suppresses all other vrittis. It consumes all other vrittis, and only the experience remains. And if you go to the second aphorism of Patanjali, tada drashtuhu sarupe avasthanam. At that moment, the witness is existing in its true nature, in its own glory. That is yoga. Okay, what is yoga? When the witness, the real you, is existing in its own glory. There is no other distraction. Okay, but mind is still there. So interesting. You know, this kind of doubts will always remain until we have that kind of illumination. Okay, experience. It's good to have the discussion about it.
So Maharaj, just a question about what you said. So really then what is being transformed or suppressed is really the individual ego at that point, because the mind is still remaining, the memories are there. Because when someone comes back from this experience, they still have the memories that they had before. Like Thakur did not forget.
Right.
He had all the memories. He had samskaras in terms of if he liked to eat something, he could identify those things. So
Right.
then really something at the ego level is happening then? Is that what it would be then?
Indeed, ego, according to Vedanta, is also a function of the mind. Okay, function of the mind. So what is being obliterated is other thoughts, other destructive thoughts, other than what we are concentrating on. Okay, and according to Vedanta, the thing we are concentrating on is our own nature, even with the help of external symbol. Okay, that's why mind cannot grasp it. Grasp it in the sense, again, in the sense that the way mind grasps the scissors here. Mind can totally know it. This is a scissors, pair of scissors. In that way, mind cannot grasp the subject. Okay, as an object. Okay, as an object. Okay.
So is this a correct understanding that your being, when you're just existing, will stop identifying with the thoughts that are arising or the emotions that are arising? However, if somebody calls you by your name, you will still identify, you will still respond, because that is your brain, which enables you to live. But your being stops identifying with stuff that is just arising in the consciousness, or I don't know, whatever you call it. Like like if anger arises, yes, you will be angry, but you don't identify with it because it's not yours. Basically, it's just happening.
Yeah. Indeed, they say that after illumination, anger, and all those things, just a semblance of those things remain. Semblance. That is a discussion in itself. After illumination or after knowledge. But after illumination, if someone calls me by name, definitely I will think, I will respond to it. Is not it? Yeah.
Swamiji, maybe in future class, we can talk more about the microcosm that you started with.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to come back to it at some point.
Yeah. Indeed.
Fascinating.
Yeah, macrocosm and microcosm. Yeah. All right. Okay, what should we do? Okay, we shall do a little meditation. Okay, guided meditation. After 1 minute of break, we shall do a short meditation today. Okay, for 10 minutes.